Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first video of Halloween Cup, and I wanted to do it at night because I think it's more thematic. Yeah, so this team's going to be Carbink, if you saw the thumbnail there. So what I've actually noticed about the Limited Cups this week specifically is that it does seem to lend to the old mon that's got super nerfed this season, which I think is really cool because you obviously have made these mon in previous seasons, so a lot of people already have them. Some of them are XLs. So it's a good time to be able to use some of the resources that we used previously but may not use as much nowadays. So I do think that's the coolest part of these two cups. So I did want to go over this Carbink team. It's going to be with Greninja in the back with Drifblim as well. So a little bit of the old with Carbink, and in the last video, or the previous video to that, or actually the two previous videos with Registeel and then the Bastiodon pick as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. But first, if you haven't, you can subscribe to the channel. Actually, even to go over, I actually did pumpkin carving for Halloween, this last weekend, watching a scary movie and doing some pumpkin carving, and then we put our pumpkins out in the front door for display, and I think a deer came and ate through one of them, which is pretty funny. First time me doing pumpkin carving, so alright. Actually, I had been to this is just so off topic at this point, but I had been to a pumpkin carving one time before, and instead of bringing a pumpkin, I thought it'd be very funny to bring an apple, so I carved an apple. Terribly difficult, juices everywhere, would not recommend, but I still thought at the end of the day it was pretty funny. Anyways, let's get into the games. Carbink into Guzzlord is obviously very good. Actually, into Sableye is actually insanely good as well. It is a Shadow Sableye, so you know you're not going to get hit with a return. They actually end up throwing the foul play here, which means that we are going to resist it, but two of them will KO, but we're outpacing because Water Shuriken's just such an insanely fast move to get to these moves. Obviously, we're going to match shields here. We are actually getting really low, but I doubt we could be farmed down just because at this point they are in Night Slash range. So throwing this Night Slash because we're going to get to back-to-back. I guess they're not in Night Slash range, actually, but going to try to get the back-to-back so that we can do some damage and get the shield. Although, will a Water Shuriken KO? No. Coming back in with Carbink, one thing to note is that while Guzzlord is a dark type versus the ghost type of Drifblim, Shadow Drifblim in the back, triple dark team. Okay, Carbink's very good against dark types. We still have Icy Wind on the Drifblim as well, but it doesn't. I mean, they're not even going to be able to take us out here. This is neutral. I guess you do want to preserve a little bit of this, although they do. Okay, so one thing to note is Guzzlords probably will be running Sludge Wave, which at least is going to be neutral against the Carbink here, and it looks like we're going for a farm down into a Moonblast. Won't even ever have to show this Drifblim if I was to guess. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, and they're one turn behind. Well, Carbink almost just soloed this team, so that's nice. And probably could have soloed the team. Alright, Drifblim into Drapion. Drapion, a big time, probably the best safe swap in this cup, so it does make sense that we are seeing a lot of Drapion. We did a lot of damage before coming in with, I was going to say Water Shuriken with Greninja. One thing to note was that they were running Aqua Tail, so we came in and probably assumed they weren't running the Sludge Bomb, but they were actually running Sludge Bomb. They do end up throwing this Aqua Tail as a means to just get damage off before getting a Hydro Cannon thrown at them, but since they did throw energy at a time when we knew they weren't going to have another one, we ended up just getting a little bit extra farm, not having to shield that as well. Getting actually 2 Hydro Cannons off here, and they obviously really want to win Switch. But we can definitely win Switch if we want to at any point. We do go for the Hydro Cannon here, waiting to see that we do see 2 Poison Stings come through, and then KO this Drifblim. They do end up coming back in with, KOing the Drapion. They do end up coming in back in with the Drifblim. We do see a Clodsire here in the back. We get a Water Shuriken off. We swap fast into this Drifblim. They could actually be running Stone Edge, but most of the time these days, people are running Sludge Bomb and Earthquake. We'll end up seeing what they throw here. Yeah, this is Sludge Bomb, not great. And then we have the Shadow Ball. This is actually Shadow Grimer. I haven't seen a Shadow Grimer in quite some time. I will say, like, 3 seasons ago, there was a lot of Shadow Grimer usage. In fact, I do have one as well. Although, wait, do I have a Shadow Alolan? I might have a Alolan Grimer, actually. I'm not sure if I have Shadow Grimer. I have to check. But I believe it does learn Mud Slap, so was technically buffed this season, which is very interesting. I believe it also has Poison Jab or Sting. I guess we'll end up seeing what they were running here as soon as we get through this Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz, not great against Greninja, but does have the bulk to really survive, so can actually end up pulling shields. We do go for the CMP here on the Night Slash, which is going to KO and give the chance for a buffed attack. We don't get that buffed attack, but they do end up coming in with a Galarian Moltres. Again, we did show off Galarian Moltres in our last video, but that was in Great League Remix. This is actually going to be in... it is Mud Slap. So yeah, getting a bit of a buff here for the Grimer. But that was in, I was going to say, Great League Remix, whereas this is Halloween Cup. It is interesting to note that the Halloween designs in the background were like, I don't know, accidentally removed, I'll say. Or I don't know why they got removed. But looks like Halloween stuff is back, which is pretty cool. I do love the Halloween scenery and the in-game like orange stops. I do think it looks very cool. Catching you here in the middle of the video, definitely subscribe if you haven't. Just take a second, hit it. All right, back to the video. All right, Ariados shielded once, and they can actually win this matchup in the 1-0. Now, you can just choose to win this matchup very easily in a farm down here, even with the lunge. I do like switching into Greninja to get that energy lead, and it is pretty neutral into a lot of things in this cup. Guzzlord not being one of them. It is interesting. I guess they're going for the kill very quickly here, although... I was going to say the reason they're probably going for it quickly here is because our timer is way off. But if we end up throwing, because we swapped and they didn't, but if we end up throwing 2 here, we could actually catch up a bit. But, yeah, we weren't able to throw 2, so they do end up coming in with another Shadow Grimer. And just to note, it is the Kanto version. If you're only listening, I do want to make sure that you do know about that. We are going to get the farm down here. I believe it has just poison and ground moves, so we do resist all of those. Gonna go for the Icy Wind here into this matchup. They actually get a 0 turn, or the 1 turn lag here, so we are gonna get a move off before, and they don't get a fast attack off by the looks of it, and that actually ends up saving us so hard. Thank you, based Niantic, for allowing us to get this win. Alright, Azumarill here. Obviously, we don't want Azumarill into Greninja, and then Azumarill up energy is going to be pretty weird matchup for Drifblim. But most of these are not running Hydro Cannon, I would think. They do have the best buddy. Ooh, we do get a little bit scared, but they do end up throwing the Play Rough. And we get a big move off here, obviously, against the Drapion, enough to get the shield back. It is non-shadow here, so I'm assuming that you would live a Sludge Bomb. But I'm actually not too sure on that matchup. So to be fair, I haven't used Greninja very much in Open Great League. I did use it in one Play Pokemon tournament, which I really plan on showing you guys some of my Pokemon Play tournament stuff. I do have the videos or the matches recorded. I would just have to, you know what? I might do that tonight. I do have a Battle Frontier matchup tonight, but maybe I'll have time to do that. Anyways, they do come back in with the Azumarill. This is probably an Ice Beam. It's going to be super effective. Again, most of the time they're not going to be running Hydro Pump. So we do get this down into Shadow Ball range, going for the bait because we're not going to make it to 2 Shadow Balls before they make it to another Ice Beam. So hopefully trying to pull the shield and then win CMP. So smart. and this will probably KO with the shadow version. I know for a fact I've not built a shadow version of this guy. Good catch here on the possible. Oh, it was a Sludge Bomb. Okay. It was a possibility of that being a... we do go for the Moonblast, which is going to be a higher hitting move. It could have been a Stone Edge. Although I still think people are just going to be running the Sludge Bomb and Earthquake versions of these, if not only to deal with the other Clodsires, and then Sludge Bomb just faster move to get to. I think we will beat it to this Icy Wind now, and they won't be able to get that next Sludge Bomb, which would KO us. Nice. Very good win here. Good catch, which is the only way we could have won, I think. All right. Lead of Clodsire, obviously very bad for us. They end up switching into Azumarill. They do switch very late, but... can we actually force this matchup with the Hydro Cannons? I believe if we use our shields, we definitely can. It does take Azumarill a very long time to get to its moves, but we have to shield all of its moves, and they don't have to shield all of our moves. So it looks like we are going to probably try to take this to the 2s, if I was to guess, or maybe even try to catch. The problem is we cannot have Carbink on Clodsire. That's just absolutely terrible for us. Looks like we'll go for one more and go for CMP. They actually don't go for CMP here. Makes sense. We want to scare them off this matchup. But yeah, again, looks like we're going to the 2s here. We had a huge energy advantage going into this matchup. We are going to get... we're not at 2 Hydro Cannons right now, but maybe... oh man, I thought we were really going to go for that. We can come in, we can come in Drifblim here and go for the big farm down, I think. Oh, really? Okay. Just going to eat a lot of the energy here from the Azumarill. Actually, they don't end up getting anything. They do come back in with Clodsire. Maybe we'll try to catch an Earthquake. My god, it's nasty. So nasty. Back-to-back Clodsire catches. Although... Mana Buzz is like a hard counter here. This is definitely going to KO, and we have no real answer for the Clodsire. That's going to be GG. Yeah. All right. More Peko. More Peko, is that how it's pronounced? I played against this for the first time yesterday in some games that might be showing tomorrow morning. But I have no idea anything about its moveset or anything, and I didn't know that it has this weird like intro every time it, or like switches forms every time it throws a move, and then I don't know anything about the forms. I was very confused. Definitely do some research. This is probably play rough, yeah. I would definitely do some research on Morpeko before. Sorry. I think it has Psychic Fangs here. Might have... yeah. Oh, actually did not think that would kill us. I also thought about, I thought it was interesting to think about, can you make, in the 50-second shot clock era, what I'm going to keep calling it, can you actually make a team that goes to time, like timeout team with Morpeko? Because this is an extra like 4 seconds, or maybe it's like 2 seconds, but every time it throws a move, adding 2 seconds to the clock, can you actually just make like a timeout team? I don't know if it's possible because nowadays it's so crazy, but because things are happening so fast, I'm not sure if anyone's tried to make a timeout team. Let me know if you... honestly, if you have made a timeout team, send me those battles. I will showcase them easily on this channel because I think that is so interesting, and I bet it starts with Morpeko. All right, Frostlass comes in. Technically, we resist everything here on Greninja. I did say in my best teams video, even though it was for Great League Remix, that Frostlass is... or was a giant in some of these limited cups, and it's going to be good in this cup as well. I mean, yeah. They end up coming back in with Azu. Obviously, we can just get to 2 Hydro Cannons. We have a shield, and this is their last Mon, so as soon as we get to the 2 Hydro Cannons, we're Gucci. Yeah, this is going to be GG. I doubt they even shield this. They probably just let it go. They know we have infinite energy. All right, go lurk. Definitely not great for us. Although we did get a decent amount of damage into it. They do have a Volt Switch Fortress. I actually knew about this Fortress type thing. Although they only have Mirror Shot. They could have. Oh, actually, they can have Rock Blast and Earthquake as well. But I did face someone in a Pokemon play that had Fortress, and I saw that they had Volt Switch, and I was like, that's wild. Oh, we actually do make it to the move because since they don't have Stab, Fortress is really not doing that much damage with the Volt Switches, even though it is doing some amount of damage. And we do end up coming in with the Carbink. We can soak even an Earthquake here if they are running the Earthquake. Yeah. Actually doesn't even do that much either. And they hard swap the Golurk. Oh no, why would they do this? And we definitely win CMP. Greninja is a CMP monster. Yeah, definitely shield. We'll always outpace them if we want to, but I don't know if we can actually farm them down before they get to another move. No, we can't. But now we can shield and probably farm them down because they're probably 2 or 3 away, considering that one shuriken went through, yeah, 2 away. Now we have infinite energy for whatever they have in the back. They still have Volt Switch guy in the back, so we are looking at the top right corner. We throw this move, and yeah, it's going to KO. And we have the Hydro Cannon for the... was this a Clodsire it looked like? Yeah, it was a Clodsire. Probably could... okay, yeah, outpace. They're going... what are they going for here, actually? They could have thrown the Sludge Bomb. They were going for the Farm Down. They did know... I mean, obviously, they knew our lead from previous... oh, another Grimer. Interesting. All right. They... swap into an Azumarill again, but we have a huge lead here. Last time they had a Clodsire and then swapped into the Azumarill when we brought in the Greninja. They went for a little bit extra farm. So a little bit extra farm here on the Grimer. But yeah, we can win the 2s again. So really good to know your shield scenarios. Ooh, get a little bit of lag. Really good to know your shield scenarios because it'll help you out in these situations where it's like, we have a water dark type versus a water fairy type. It's obviously we're just hard losing. If I'm them, I definitely don't shield this move. It's not in KO range right now. So the question is, do you want to win so bad on the Azumarill that you go 2-0 shields? We can't farm down, but we can Night Slash, which means we can get buffed. They do have a little bit of energy on the Grimer. They do decide the 2 shields is fine. Technically, Drifblim wins all shields, or I'm sorry, resists all moves from the Grimer, so that's very good. And then obviously Clodsire just hard wins the Mandibuzz matchup because it resists everything as well. So even the 2-0 shield here actually just got us great dividends. Yeah, we're gonna switch. They're gonna switch. We're gonna switch. And boom, Astonish doing actually a lot here to the buff this season to Astonish actually going to end up doing a lot here because we do get a lot of damage in. You notice that they are going for this ice. Also, I've been saying but these are battles from Dunebug. I'll mention his stream at the end of the video, but I don't know. I whenever I'm watching someone, I always just identify with them, I guess, and just think that I'm on their team kind of thing. So, all right, Drifblim. Obviously, we have Rock Slide, which is going to be super effective against it, and the Rock Throws are also being super effective. Going to go for the shield here because it's a Shadow, and it could be the Shadow Ball. They go for the Icy Wind bait, which is not cool, but we are able to throw before they get to a Shadow Ball here. I don't think we're going to get KO'd by a Shadow Ball, so they might even let this go. My god, a nasty catch. And got the Water Shuriken through. I mean, we are taking a lot of damage. Okay, well, they did hard switch, though, so we're just going to come back in with Carbink right away. Our switch is obviously much less... faulted at less much time than theirs is, so yeah, nice. Not really taking any damage from this. Can go for probably a Rock Slide at the end of the day, save a little bit of energy. Again, not taking any damage from this, and the Drifblim is very low. It's in farm down range where we don't have to care too much. Very interesting to not ever throw a move here. I mean, this is just going to be GG. We saw Sludge Bomb actually does like 50% to Drifblim, which is crazy. I guess just Shadow on Shadow, and then Drifblim's very high attack Statmon anyways. And then just have the double Icy Wind for the Guzzlord, which is going to be super effective against the Dragon typing here. And they just let it go because they know it's over. Ooh, that's all the games. All right, as mentioned before, these battles are from Dunebug. You can catch his stream in the description below. I know we've shouted out him a million times, but obviously he's very good. 4-time regional champion, perennial page 1 leaderboarder. I mean, you know these teams are good when he's using them, but especially when he's using them. So wanted to showcase those battles, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm gonna try to get y'all a Pokemon play video out. I just don't know how much editing that's gonna take, so we'll see. All right, see y'all. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.